So, is there anything that could possibly be better than a fresh egg?
How about the incredible edible egg powder, Janie? We'll learn all about that today on WTF. Hello and welcome to WTF, where we transform food here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen. I'm Chef Scott Guerin.
And I'm Janie Wang, the owner of Modernist Pantry. Today, Scott and I are going to be talking all about egg powders. Really, what are the benefits of using them? We're going to be doing quite a few demos on really cool applications of egg powders and answer the big question, are egg powders as good as fresh eggs? So, Scott, let's take it away, and what do we have here?
So, the big thing is people, whenever they want to buy egg powders, is can I do everything that a normal egg can do? And that's kind of what we're going to show off here today. We're going to show you whole egg yolk, and egg white powder, and then what you can do with them, which is basically anything that you could do. But the best part is that they're pasteurized. So if you want to do something that is not cooked like a meringue, you don't have to worry about salmonella or anything like that.
Very
the first thing I am going to do is I need to get something into the pan because it's going to take a little while to cook if you do it properly. And we're just going to make scrambled eggs, something so simple, and we're going to do it out of our whole egg powder.
Okay.
So what I have here, and you can actually see how fluffy it is, this is our whole egg powder, and there's 2 tablespoons in here, and it seems like a lot, but we've really packed it into those tablespoons, and then I have 4 tablespoons of water, or 3 3/4 tablespoons of water, and I mix it in. And then I'm just going to show you 3 different ways. So I have a whisk here, a spoon, and a fork, just showing you how easy it is. You can use any of these when you are mixing in your powder. So I'm just going to get them. You're just going to whisk it until there's almost no lumps. Obviously, if we whisk until there's no lumps, we'd probably be here for a couple of minutes, but they will cook out.
Yeah,
very
and I
easily.
love how easily they're coming together. So I think that sometimes people are concerned about
course.
powders and whether you need like a special blender, but not for these ones.
And I just have a lightly buttered pan, and the best part about scrambled eggs, when you make them, your pan does not have to be hot. Some people think it needs to be very hot and you have to hear a sizzle when you put it in. No, you just need to have a little bit of butter in there, and it should be seen and not heard. So I'm going to put in my powdered whole eggs. I'm just making sure I get all of it in there. Spread it out in my pan, and you can already see it's starting to cook. It's okay if a little bit sticks to the bottom of the pan, that's fine. As long as you don't have it on such a high temperature where all of it is going to stick.
Like
You'll be
kind of
good.
one cool application with this would be, if you're going camping and you want to make scrambled eggs or an omelet over at your campsite, this would be a great way to have access to that.
Yeah, and this is just one application of it, right? We can make scrambled eggs. And this is showing, hey, once they're reconstituted, and it took, maybe a minute before the water went into it, and now we almost have scrambled eggs completely finished in a pan. But what else can we do with this product? What we have here, and we can put it up front in just a moment, is that we made our own dry cake mix. So these are really cool if you wanted to make like a bunch of mason jars and you give them out to people for their birthday or at the holidays. This is an inexpensive gift for you to make, but it also has a little bit of love and care from your own, recipe book. So we made our own chocolate cake, and you can find this recipe on the blog, and we show you here, hey, it actually works, right? So we have cupcakes that we made, and we also made a nice little cake that we frosted and glazed.
Ooh, that looks delicious. And just kind of what's in this jar?
So in that jar, it also shows you how unhealthy cake is for you. There's the egg powder at the bottom. We have about 3/4 of it full of sugar, chocolate, and then our flour mixture, which has a little bit of glycerol monostyrate, which we'll talk about in a future episode, which helps with the emulsification of it. There's a little bit of baking powder, and then some chocolate chips on top, which give it a really nice, rich, kind of fudgy texture. Cool thing about this, all you have to do is add water and oil. So the recipe will be on the blog. Just add water and oil to it. Boom, mix it up, put it into your pans, and you can cook it, and it will come out perfectly. And
Love it.
It doesn't have to be like a cake mix that you buy at a store. It's your own, right?
Yep, and it tastes really great. We ate like a whole sheet of it the other day. It was delicious.
Yes. We had an extra sheet, and I ate that entire sheet. So our scrambled eggs are done. They're beautiful, ready to go. All I need is a little bit of salt, pepper, some bacon. So let's go on to our next one. So we have our egg yolk powder. And this is really common for things like custards. You can do a lot of cold applications with this. You can make mayonnaise with it. You can make whatever you really want to make with it. But I'm just going to show you a very simple one, and then we're going to talk about a custard that we made with it. Because that's a big deal. If you can make a custard out of a dry egg, that's a testament to a high quality egg.
Yeah, absolutely.
So right here I have just going to mix up with a spoon. It's going to be a slightly thicker than what a normal egg yolk would look like, and that is a 1.5 level tablespoons to 1 tablespoon of water.
Okay, and if you're like, I don't remember any of this information, this is actually all on the back of the package.
Yes.
So it will be there, don't worry.
Yes. So I'm just going to break it up, make sure that there aren't any clumps. There shouldn't be, but these things love water, so even the moisture in the air will start to make them, stick together a little bit. But then I added my water, and quickly, like we said earlier, let it mix up. And with these, I like to let them sit, especially the whites and the yolks, just let them sit for maybe a minute before you do anything with them. Obviously, if you're making a custard, you got to go through a tempering process. That's plenty of time. But if you were going to take this and then, let's just say, mix it into a mayonnaise, give it a little bit of time before you get on making it. It needs to hydrate a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? There's fat and moisture in here. So boom, we have our egg yolk, but now we have creme brulee. So to save a little bit of time, I made one ahead of time, but we also have this. This is a finished creme brulee, and we want to see what that texture is really like.
Okay.
So, Janie,
yes,
if you want to take it, and here's a spoon. You can dig into it and just show the camera how well these egg yolks work for.
I certainly will. So they look great. We can kind of see that, but they look kind of eat this one.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yay.
So yeah, you can see the perfect texture in here. It should almost look like soft butter when you have a really properly made creme brulee.
Oh, it tastes like soft butter. This is so good.
Good. So perfect. And then yes, we have our beautifully made creme brulee here, which I'm going to eat in a little bit later. So we'll
we have
save
a lot
that.
more demos and sweets coming up, so
There'll be plenty of pictures of that,
yeah.
I'm sure.
And kind of what's so great about the egg yolk and the egg white is just how they really reduce waste, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
sometimes
absolutely.
you're just like, you got 3 egg whites and then you got 3 egg yolks just sitting there.
And a lot of people get nervous with these. It's like, oh, what extra products are they putting in there? What extra ingredients are in there? These are just eggs. There may be slightly like a little bit of anti-caking agents, but that's just going to keep it from turning into a big block if it does become exposed to moisture.
Actually, ours has no anti-caking agents.
That's perfect.
Yep. So I mean, I'm not against anti-caking agents, but some people do get a little nervous. They see like silicon dioxide on there, and they're like, we don't like that. So no silicon dioxide. 100% U.S. produced eggs.
That's great. Even better. So our last one is our egg whites. And this one is a little bit trickier than the others because you do want to have at least warm water. Some of our information says hot water, but I don't want people to be boiling water and be putting it into their dried egg whites. So yeah, it just needs to be warm to the touch. So if it's like, I like to say baby's bath water, if you have that, then you can make your egg white powder into reconstituted egg whites. This one I do like to give a little bit of time because you want to be able to make a beautiful meringue, which we have here, which will show how well it works. But you don't want to take this, put it into a mixer, just start blending it because then there may be like slight clumps and people will look at it and say, well, this isn't really working. Mix it up beforehand, give it a little bit of time, and then you can go ahead with it. You can also take this meringue and make meringue cookies and all sorts of different things out of it that you would normally do with egg whites. And for the egg whites, it's 1.5 teaspoons to 2.5 tablespoons of water. And you can see how fluffy it is. It actually looks like more than the egg yolk. The egg yolk tends to be a little dense because it has all that fat in it. So I'm just going to mix in my water. It's a little warm. And as you can see, this one takes a little bit more work, but I'm doing it with a fork, which is the hardest way to do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you can really kind of start seeing that.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time.
Almond forming.
But people will see this generally and go, oh no, these don't work.
Yeah.
Well, they do. You just need to make sure that you mix them in properly. If you have a blender, you can use a blender. I just wouldn't whip it on the highest speed possible because then you're going to start making meringue. You're going to start incorporating that air. So we can take a little bit of time with this. And while I mix this, Janie, you mind showing off our meringue?
Absolutely. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous meringue that Scott made from the egg white, which is actually one of the most common questions and requests that people want to use it for. And you can just kind of see how nice and foamy and rich this is.
Yep. So if you dip it in there, then you should be able to get a decent peek off it. We made it just before we came on the air here. Yep.
Okay.
So there we go. Put it straight up in the air.
All right, straight up in the air.
Just like this.
Okay.
There you go. Now you can see the point.
Yay.
It's not flopping over, which
Turning.
means it's at nice stiff peaks. Yep.
So with the egg white and the egg yolk, if someone wanted to, can they put it directly dry into a recipe, or should they always be reconstituted?
No, they work great if they're dry into the recipe because they will be mixed in, let's say, with the flour in here. In this one, we just put it on the bottom because it's the whole egg powder. It works in really, really well, and if you're doing it in a stand mixer, it's going to blend in. The egg white, I would definitely suggest putting it into the other dry ingredients. Like we said, it takes a little bit more time, and you can see it's about 90% of the way there on this.
And it's a great way to really just kind of be more economical in both the space in your refrigerator, because you can have like a bag just sitting in the pantry for much longer than you can have fresh eggs sitting there.
Yes.
Right? And then also you don't like me end up with like a freezer full of just like random egg bits that I'm like, I'm just gonna save these for later and use them, and then just never do. So so no waste.
Yeah, no waste here. And like we said, yes, there are a few clumps in here, but this needs a little bit of time to reconstitute. So that's the only one that we tend to see. Oh no, what's happening here? It's just that it just needs a little bit of time to reconstitute. After a little bit of maybe 2-3 minutes, it'll fully come together. Just keep giving it a few whisks here and there, and then go about making your recipe.
Yeah, so you can get definitely the recipes for the creme brulee and for this chocolate cake from the mix. That's going to be on the blog. And if anybody wants a scrambled egg recipe, we can certainly do that as well.
We'll send you a private recipe for it.
Is there anything else we want to talk about? We definitely showcased exactly what they do, how easy it is to make them. What else do we need to cover?
I think that's pretty much all we need to cover. It's just know your ratios, and you can make whatever you really want to. If you're making a custard to a meringue to even if it's your own chocolate cake recipe, you just want to substitute in the egg powders. Just know the ratios, and then you can put them into the mix yourself.
Yeah, so that's a great, really, really versatile range of products. And a fun tip, so some people do buy the egg yolks and whole eggs in order to put them into pet food. So people who like to make homemade pet food, like fish food and all that stuff, so they like to mix it in there because you have the high protein.
Yes.
But again, no food waste. You don't have to worry about like salmonella or anything. So it's a great alternative use. And like we said, if you're going off grid, take some egg powder with you.
And the egg white powder works great for like protein shakes and items like that too. So there's a very high protein content. It's inexpensive, and then you can get all the benefits of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So from here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen, I'm Janie Wang.
And I'm Scott Guerin. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you want these great recipes and these awesome ingredients, first you're going to have to like, comment, and subscribe. And then you're going to go to blog.modernistpantry.com where you can find those awesome recipes and you can ask a chef. And to get these great ingredients, go to modernistpantry.com. And until next time, we'll be here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen helping you transform food.